Summer is upon us. It's the time of year where it gets warm out and people tend to wear less artificial layers. That's why it's a good idea to look good, get some exercise, trim down a little. These folks were involved in a running event in the Stockade neighborhood of Schenectady, New York. Not to get mixed up with the Stockade-a-thon, that's in the fall. But they were doing miles around the Mohawk, I think it's called. Well, anyway, it was a good turnout. There were many races all day long. They could pick from the 5-mile race, or they could do the 10-mile race. I would have chose the 5-mile race. I do run 5 miles a day, at least 4 days a week, I would say. I have a gym membership. I go there wearing a wife beater and some exercise slacks that I found in the man's department. And I don't dress very fancy. I don't look very flashy. I am an elderly individual. However, for my age, I happen to be well chiseled, like these people. One reason I push myself to extreme physical limits for my age is because I don't really want to look like everybody else, where their attitude is, oh, I want to retire and I'm going to sit in the recliner with a bottle of beer and 24-cut pizza every day and expire from a heart attack by the time you're 65. However, I would like to sit in a recliner with a nice friendly doggie. That would be great. But no matter where your journey of physical maintenance brings you, remember, always look for the American flag. And remember how we want to make America great again. A view of the Western Gateway Bridge. The Indian in the Stockade section where Arthur's Market exists has always been a wonderful sight for decades and decades. You can get all kinds of angles of this Indian. It's very beautiful. I hope too many birds don't poop on it. Mr. Bunny Rabbit? Mr. Bunny Rabbit, I saw you. Don't need to hide from me, Mr. Bunny Rabbit. I don't want to hurt you. There he is. Hi, Mr. Bunny Rabbit. What's up, Mr. Bunny Rabbit? Wow. Good morning, Mr. Bunny Rabbit. How are you feeling? Oh, wow. It's a board. It's a board. Don't stop at my property. Oh, fart. It did. Oh, maybe not. I got enough boards. And it always stops at my property. There it goes. Yeah. Schenectady's Central Park on a beautiful sunny day. Everywhere you look is very scenic. Park benches waiting for someone to perch upon. Benches are great places to sit, especially if they're near a lake where you can do head-turning exercises. Another view of Iroquois Lake, Central Park, Schenectady. It looks like a very big lake through this open gate lens. Seems as though every year a car ends up in Iroquois Lake. A cat nearby watches from a rickety fence. A miniature creek flows very gently between the picnic area and Tiny Tot land. I believe this creek feeds into the Iroquois Lake. It looks kind of like the creek where you might find a frog. It seems like on Leave It to Beaver they never had any trouble finding frogs. Here's the casino concession stand where you get like cheeseburgers, milkshakes, sodas, French fries. Here we are at the 2022 St. Anthony's Feast in Schenectady, New York. And the person we see here a lot is Tom L. is here tonight. Tom L. has showed up.
Every year they're doing. Yes, sir.
Now, Tom, what are your thoughts on the festival reopening since the pandemic?
Oh, I think it's great. There's a big crowd here.
Yeah.
I think everybody missed it.
Right. So as far as opening night goes, it's pretty good to be here, huh?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to stay for all the entertainment. Got
Right.
bands tonight. Get
Yep.
down here while you're probably like you're seeing this later.
Well, for me, I think I'm just gonna probably go home early, but I may hit this again tomorrow night. I'm just getting a few pictures for now.
Yeah. Well, Viva Italia, I guess, or whatever.
Okay, and that was Tom L. for JP News in Schenectady, New York at the St. Anthony's Italian Fest. Yeah! May 8th, 2022. The Elk Street Parking Garage in downtown Albany. We are here for the Tulip Festival. And here's some views from the top of that parking garage. Here's one that gives me the heebie-jeebies. I wouldn't want to fall from here. A woodchuck is captured on camera, running away, camera shy, and hiding under the parking attendant's booth. However, it appears that he had company with him, as one pokes his head out the other side. People decided to wait for the shuttle to bring them to Washington Park. However, I decided to start walking on my own. I got a lot of good views on the way over, like the Capitol building, and these statues in front of this building that had pillars. The A.E. Smith building, a very famous building in Albany. And the trees line the sidewalks. This time of year, they happen to have the most awesome blossoms on them. And the City District of Albany displayed an art show displayed by the elementary school kids. And wow, I couldn't decide which one I liked the best. It was just so hard to choose. Love that snake around the tree, and this elephant, and this bee, and this person with a different colored face. And oh, here we are at the, I believe this is the intersection of Lark Street and State Street, maybe. We have finally found our way over to Washington Park. And as you can see, there's more beautiful blossoms on the trees. This section of the park is where all the arts and crafts venues were. People were there to buy little trinkets, and it drew a pretty big crowd of people, young and old. Look at all the porta potties in the background. That's always a useful thing. They're disgusting, but it's disgusting not to have them. Now, there was lots of food vendors. I think you could get pizza, you could get chicken quesadillas, hot dogs, french fries, chicken shish kebabs, gyros, tacos, soft tacos, crab cake sandwiches, grilled pickles. The Moses statue by the fountain was a very popular congregating spot. It had tulips next to it. Kids were wading in the water. It was a semi-warm day, so it was a good way to keep cool. Other kids decided to use the rock climbing, which is, I think, a great form of exercise and strength building exercise. I'm not a kid, and I would like to do that. The police were there to maintain security. A young girl does a cartwheel. A band performs on one of the stages as an audience looks on and grooves to their music. So as I said, we are here for the Tulip Festival. Now, I am not a tulip expert, but there's different colors, different shapes. If I knew the names of each of these tulips, I would say them. I would say these are white and red ones. Boy, they just make a great contrast with that blue sky in the background. People gathered around them and took pictures and sniffed them and, just adored them. Grandparents brought their grandkids so they could enjoy them. Red, yellow, pink. There were just seas and seas of tulips everywhere. Some people even gathered around for family pictures. Now the yellow ones, they don't look like tulips. Don't know what those were called. These look like they're in a buttercup shape. As we pan downward, we see some other blue type of flower, and you can see the bees pollinating them. Again, beautiful tulip flowers everywhere. They look like cups of wine. These colorful tulips look good enough to eat almost, like they were candy. Pinkish red, very healthy. Yellow and pink together. Everywhere you looked, people were taking pictures of them. From some views, it looks like people were standing waist deep in tulips, which I thought was very neat. The yellow ones look like they could be bars of scented soap. Shutterbugs everywhere. And what could be a better day? With all these people around and these tulips, I can't think of anything better for the camera to grab. These yellow and red striped tulips look like they're waist high on some of the people. And again, more families pose for family portraits in the middle of the tulips in Washington Park in good old Albany. Not an unhappy face in the crowd today. Yes, one more sniff of the yellow ones. And what else could be a greater attraction than to see everybody's dogs? We got one in a little wagon. How well trained he is to stay in that wagon. This guy here poses with his sister human. And he has got the most pointy ears, but that gives him character. And here is a white doggy. I just don't know what kind. Maybe he's got a little pit bull in him. And here comes a couple dogs that I think one of them might be a part shepherd, one of those herding dogs. But I could be wrong, so I shouldn't even try to guess. Here's an interesting fella. He's got a lot of wrinkles on his face. Doesn't take away from him at all. He's still very handsome. There's a good old lawn dog. Looks very content. And look at this boy here. He's got a nice brown, white, and black coat. Very handsome. And a gentleman with I believe, kind of a long-haired German Shepherd sat down with me and introduced me to his dog and let me get acquainted with him. And her name was Sasha, I believe. It actually says it right there on her collar. I could be wrong, but I wonder if she might have been a service dog or therapy dog by the looks of that name tag. Although I should not guess, because I don't know for sure.
I just just now, Ben. I've been filming a lot of doggies today. How you doing, boy?
They're the best part about these events.
Yeah, no, it's great that.
This is normally the dog part.
This concludes this segment of JP News. This has been the Tulip Festival in Albany, New York, covered by JP News, and in addition, we had a good host of dogs.